Hey guys, welcome to Hip Hughes History as we hit you up with some world history knowledge that you're going to need to know if you're in school. And if you're not in school, it's a little creepy, but you can keep watching. We're going to start with the Neolithic Revolution, guys. This is going to be about 10,000 before the Common Era, a very, very long time ago. We're going to take a look at the major causes and major effects of the Neolithic Revolution and give you just enough so you can watch this and not hate school. All right, guys, what you say we giddy up for the learning and get her done right now. So why don't we start with what it is? The Neolithic Revolution isn't a revolution in the ordinary sense of the word that you might understand it. You might think revolution, bloody coup, people uprising, big changes quickly. The Neolithic Revolution is literally going to be a revolution that occurs over thousands of years, and it's hard to pinpoint one specific event or one specific place because it's really a multitude of changes over a multiple of regions. Whether it's going to be, Syria, where we're going to have the first real examples of the domestication of animals, to China, where we have one of the earliest examples of really a staple crop being planted and being relied on. But either way, the answer in the exam is going to be that the Stone Age, or the Paleolithic Age, which is about 2 or 3 million BCE to about 10,000 BCE, is characterized by hunting and gathering. This is the caveman thing. My goodness gracious, you know what a caveman is. They're clans of 20 or 30 people. They're nomadic. They're looking for food. They're looking for wild berries. They're looking to live, right? But these changes that occur in the Neolithic Revolution, which we're going to go over next, are going to cause the caveman to sit downeth. And once the caveman and the cavewoman sit downeth, they have a chance to do a lot of things that are going to be revolutionary. So let's look at the causes of those changes, the end of the Stone Age, the Old Stone Age, the Paleolithic Age, and the beginning of the Neolithic Age. And again, the years fluctuate, but a good round number, if you're taking notes, is about 10,000 before the Common Era, BCE, before the year zero. Are you ready for some causes? I'm ready for some causes. Let's go get them. So causes of the Neolithic Revolution, and again, we might be throwing darts in the wind here. Now, of course, there is archaeology, where we're studying the land and we're looking for artifacts and fossils. And we also have archaeogenetics, a field which looks at DNA and how that has changed and evolved over time, which gives us some insights into the Neolithic Age and the Paleolithic Age as well. But the major change, if you're looking for the one answer, is probably going to be climate change and the end of the Ice Age. The end of the Ice Age, the melting of the glaciers, is going to cause global changes in the way that the land and the environment is structured. So it might be in the Middle East, say in Syria, where suddenly there is kind of a fertile valley where food will grow more easily, giving people the opportunity to sit down. In other areas, there might be a lack of an animal food supply, which is going to cause people to have to sit down and figure out, how do we eat? And climate change would be probably top on my list, but there's also other reasons that archaeologists and archaeogenetics people have put out there, including the population just growing too large to be a hunting and gathering society. So when you have too many people, you got to figure out how to feed them. You also have a feast theory, that the clans were more powerful when they would have feasts with lots of food, which caused them to have to sit down and make food. Again, another reason for a change. You also have the oasis theory, that in some parts of the world, in the Middle East, that there was only so many pockets of water, of oasis, that was available, which caused the hunter and gathering people to come together and sit down. But geographically, we're located in the Middle East, in Syria, in the Far East, in China, and as these changes occur, they will begin to kind of like ripples in a pond, kind of, reverberate across Europe and then in Africa, and then eventually making their way over to North America. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing that you want to know for causes is that it's the end of the Ice Age, and that it's going to cause people for the first time to figure out we need to sit down. And now that you sit down, there's probably going to be some revolutionary changes that occur that we should look at right now. Right now. So number one is agriculture, and of course it depended where you are of what you grew, but in the beginning it's going to be single crop. They're going to have wheat in the Middle East and figs. They're going to have rice in China, but they're going to be able to figure out how to eventually breed these seeds to get better tasting and better nutrition-packed foods. But in the very beginning it's actually a negative, because you've gone from a hunting-gathering society where you're eating a lot of protein to one where maybe you're not eating as much protein, and actually the life expectancy goes down in the beginning of the Neolithic Revolution, as well does the height of the people. I think we shrank like 6 inches. It's ridiculous. But number one would be agriculture, and with that comes changing your natural environment. That's a second effect. In order to have agriculture, you're going to have to irrigate and move water. You're going to have to cut trees down and do deforestation. So modifying natural resources would be important as well, as is the domestication of animals. Before, they're just hunting animals. Now they're figuring out that they can, in a sense, grow animals. They can breed animals. We can have cows for milk. We can have larger animals like oxen for traction to pull our plows and help us grow more food, not to mention sheep and wool and using pigs and all different types of byproducts of animals. But the most probably important thing is going to be milk. And that milk is going to really create a source of nutrition and protein for people. And if you don't believe me, look at the numbers of lactose intolerant people that kind of disappear off the planet during the Neolithic Revolution through evolutionary survival, that those people that aren't drinking milk just aren't going to live as long. Sounds like a milk commercial. I don't even drink milk. But at the end of the day, the people that do drink milk are going to grow up nice and healthy and strong and have lots of babies that are also tolerant of lactose. I think I got off the track a little bit there. Interestingly, one of the negative effects of the domestication of animals is that lots of people are going to die because animals bring diseases. We're going to get the measles and influenza and smallpox. But again, through survival of the fittest, through evolution, people that do survive are going to pass on those stronger immunity systems that are going to protect them from those diseases to their offspring. We're also going to talk about the division of labor. For the first time, not everybody is hunting and gathering. So you have an opportunity not only for art and having art that you don't have to carry on your back. Imagine doing Stonehenge in the Paleolithic age. Guys, pick up Stonehenge. We're going to the other side to catch the animals. So art's going to be a huge deal. Technology, inventing things like calendars and the wheel and early writing system is going to be very important. Not to mention that people start thinking about larger issues like religion, like politics, like how do we build a civilization. So I would say social classes, division of labor, government, all of these are very important effects of the Neolithic Revolution. And within that social class that I just mentioned, you're going to get a whole new concept, property ownership. We're going to spare you the Marxism for now. And now that we have agriculture, we'll go back to agricultural, you have a surplus of food. And that will feed larger populations, which will allow you to expand your empire in a sense. And we also have inventions like granaries, where you need to kind of put the food in storage for a little bit while. But that's going to be really important because the more grain you store, the more time you have on your hands to do other stuff. And of course, with new technology comes new weapons. We're going to end up not just with stone, which is Paleolithic, but we're going to have metal weapons as well. And like any civilization, those with the biggest guns wins. And that's really going to be the beginnings of the city-state, which is going to grow into eventually more of a modern history as we take a look at some of those early civilizations that make the day. So there you go, guys. That's kind of the effects of the Neolithic Revolution. I'm going to go get some wrapping paper and see if we can wrap this up and make sure that you know enough to get through your day at school. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. The first thing I want to do is make sure that you look at a timeline and how ridiculously long the Paleolithic age is and how ridiculously short, really, the Neolithic Revolution is, and certainly where we are in modern history. But if we had to summarize, if you have to put down that big sentence at the end that shows the teacher you know what you're talking about, you want to make sure that you mention that the Paleolithic, or the Old Stone Age, is characterized by hunting and gathering and moving along, and that the Neolithic Revolution around 10,000 BCE, but don't quote me, is where people, for climate change reasons, began to settle their roots to kind of center their lives around agriculture, domestication of animals, and the building of civilization. So we hope that you understand a little bit more than when you press the button, and we certainly hope that you pass all of your tests. So make sure you check out the World History playlist if you have to pass more tests in world history, and if you're taking any other social studies class, go to the YouTube homepage. We have like 400 videos. It's absolutely ridiculous. I say it at the end of every lecture because I mean it with all of my heart, guys. Where tension goes, energy flows. We'll see you guys next time that you press buttons.